All right, friends, we're here this morning at the Low Country Flysmith Tying Bench. It's still dark outside. I'm not fishing today. I'm not tying today. I am going to work. Before work, I'm going to change out the trailer hub. I already did the first one the other day. And what I'm using is actually, originally it was made by Tie Down Engineering. It's the Vortex hub. It's now made by Dexter. Dexter is the company that has built the axle for my 2021 Continental aluminum trailer. The hubs that came on it from Dexter are good, but these are much more serviceable. And when I get this out of the pack, I'm going to show you what I mean. All right, so let's take a little closer look at this hub, specifically the backside. There's the grease fitting I was telling you about. And when you need to put more of that Lucas Oil Marine grease in there, you just put the grease gun on the back of that, pump it in there, and it actually pushes the grease, the bad grease, out that way. And the good grease flows back behind it. The good grease is pushing it out. So anyway, sleek design, man. Way to go. All right, y'all, so as you can see, the sun's not quite up yet. I get up early. That's just the way I roll. I've got the Tavernier skiff hooked up to the truck. One thing I like to do if I'm going to be jacking this thing up and changing the hub out, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to power up. And I like to go ahead and raise my motor up just in case the worst happens and the boat falls off the trailer falls off the jack. Then my motor is going to be subjected to possibly less damage. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. I like to take a little extra precautions when I can. All right, guys, so first up, remove the wheel. Got that off. Now we're gonna remove the actual hub itself. I'll show you how to do that, and we'll get this thing going. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna knock this old hub cap off of here. Okay, so we got the old bearing buddy off of there. You can see that grease. It's got plenty of it in there, but doesn't look like it's supposed to. So it's a good thing we're taking this thing off. You can see the little bit of corrosion started around there. It made some of those hubs some of those lugs kind of hard to break loose. But by the way, I do put deep creep. I spray my lugs every time I clean the boat / trailer. I put that on there so they're easier to break loose. They're still a beast, you know. We're dropping this thing in salt water. So anyway, I'm gonna get all this grease cleaned up, and then I'm gonna take the cotter pin out and take the crown nut off. We'll slide that hub right off. Then we're gonna clean up the spindle. Okay, so I got it cleaned up a little bit. You can see where the cotter pin slides through the axle spindle in between the teeth on that crown nut. So we're just going to finish pulling it out. Get that out of there. Going to open up our adjustable. Just going to give that a turn. And you don't grill those crown nuts down, so you don't ever shouldn't have to worry about having any difficulty in getting it off. Of course, you're gonna clean up that crown nut and reuse it. Our hub's gonna slide right off of there. There we go. First glance, our spindle looks pretty good. see, we're gonna clean it up. Gotta have paper towels out here. I recommend having some latex gloves and all that. You don't want to get this grease all over you. You can help it. So that looks pretty good. Continue to clean it off. Next, we're going to grease our spindle. That all covered up good. Now we're going to install our hub and push our bearing up in there and make sure it's seated. Twist freely. Now I'm just cleaning up the crown nut, getting all the old grease off of it. Okay, so we got our cotter pin installed. I hit the grease fitting right here and the one on the back. Push grease out the front. Everything's functioning properly. Not gonna be too crazy about cleaning up the outside of this. A little bit of marine grease on there is not gonna hurt anything. Just take a little, don't leave any crazy amounts on there for stuff to, mess to stick to and be a pain later, but it's all good. So you got your cool little Vortex cap right there. It's threaded. You don't beat it on there or any of that mess. It is a little bit funky when you start screwing it on there sometimes. And once it grabs, it's good to go. Just spin that on there. We're all set, man. We're ready to put that wheel back on. Okay, so we got our deep creep. Stuff's great. I just put it on those threads. And what that does, it just keeps, when you're exposing this thing to salt water, it just one more layer of protection to keep corrosion from happening. Like I said, I spray it on there every time when I'm cleaning my boat and my trailer to keep that salt water from being a problem. But anyway, let's get that wheel back on, guys. So as you can see, we've got the hubs all set up, ready to roll. You can keep the Tavernier on the road for many more miles, many more adventures. All right, guys, let's get the skiff back in the garage. Time to go to work.